Ryan from Venture here, and I've been really fortunate this week to host the Young Entrepreneurs Week for Property Tribes. Today I'm joined by Harvey. So Harvey, could you tell me what attracted you first to property?
So my parents have a small commercial portfolio of mixed properties. It's all commercial warehousing. Some are smaller, some are bigger. They have their own businesses alongside that as well, and they trade from quite a big warehouse, so I was lucky enough as a kid to go to the warehouse, and it was always quite a cool thing to do, to go down the warehouse and work at the warehouse. And I guess property, commercial property in particular, has just interested me ever since.
Wow, that's sort of different to what most young people want to get into then, or
Yeah.
have that experience with. Usually it's like you want to get into HMOs or service accommodation.
Yeah.
So how has that impacted on what you've decided to do and how you decided to make that first step into property?
So my parents engaged a managing agent,
Yeah.
who I'm lucky enough to work for now. So
Wow.
about 4 years ago, I started working for Lex Allen. So we're predominantly based in the West Midlands, and we do commercial property, residential property, block management, asset management, you name it, we do it. And in I think it was March 2015 when I was 20, bought my first small warehouse, which my parents kind of encouraged me to do. So I've got one on the same estate which they have as well. We do have a few break-ins, but that's try and ignore that from time to time. I think get about I think it's net 11% yield on that.
Wow.
So I kind of thought, yeah, this is a good thing to do, and then always looking at different other opportunities, and we saw that quite a big industrial estate came for sale, so approached the owner, and I didn't have anyone that could buy all of it, but I had quite a few people who could buy bits of it.
Yep.
So approached him. We're just going through it at the moment. It's taken a bit longer than we expected, so I think we're purchasing the whole estate for 1.15 million. And I've been lucky enough to take one of those units as well.
Wow.
Which will net me about a 12% yield. So
Got some really good yields on those
yeah,
units.
it's not bad.
You've got quite a broad range of experience then, working in the management agent as well.
Yeah.
You get to see the residential. How do all of those differ?
To be honest, so I do block management, so I do deal with a little bit with residential, but it's more so the commercial which interests me.
Yeah.
I like dealing with the commercial side of things, because you've got businessmen and businesswomen, and business owners and investors, and the dynamic is just I've dabbled a little bit with residential, but I would say commercial all day long for me personally.
It's amazing that you've got that experience in commercial from such a young age.
Yeah.
So what sort of age did you decide, that's it, I'm going into property? Was it really young when you loved it, or was it slightly later?
It was so I was always doing a part-time business degree, and I was looking for something alongside that, and my parents said, why don't you consider property? And I'd never really considered it. I'd always enjoyed it and always liked the idea of it, but I'd never really thought, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, until I did it. I've just completed my business degree, and I'm going to be doing my master's in real estate in September. So I'll be doing that alongside my APC. So hopefully in 2 years' time I'll be a chartered surveyor as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So have you done any surveying at the minute, any work experience? Or
Yeah, so I'm lucky enough to work alongside my colleague Lex, who's the principal. He set the business up about 22 years ago, and he's a very good chartered surveyor.
Yeah.
So when I first started, I was doing all the surveys with him, and we were just doing loads and loads of surveys, and we were going to multi-million-pound industrial estates to small shops with flats above. I think most memorably, probably second week, he took me into a disused public house, which had quite a few needles in it, which wasn't great. No power, so I had my iPhone torch, and we were kind of walking around, and I was thinking, what have I got myself into? But it's turned out okay.
Yeah, they're my favourite kind.
Yeah.
I absolutely love pubs, especially when they're in that state.
But not when they've been burnt down, and you've got to kind of miss the holes in the floor, so you don't,
Even better, blank canvas. Yeah. Let's start again. It sounds like you've got such a broad range of experience with property and having a network like your parents, and and you're such a young person. What do you think the sort of advantages are of your age and your background in property?
So there's quite a few staff who I work with. Some of them are older, the majority of them are older, and some ideas I come up with, people think that's never going to work. This collective acquisition, which we did, I spoke to someone about it and they said, I don't think you'll pull that off. I spoke to Lex, the principal, and he said, well, why don't you give it a go? Because I knew that I could do it. And we're just on the final furlong of it now. So I think, coming back to the question, the advantage of being younger is probably not being afraid to try different things. So some ideas that I have are terrible, but I'm lucky enough to have a supportive employer who has been there and done it, and he can kind of sculpt different avenues for things which I'm suggesting. So I think it's not being afraid to try different things probably is the main advantage.
It sounds like Lex, is it?
Yeah.
It sounds like he's almost like taking you under his wing.
Yeah.
And it seems to be that a lot of the younger people, and through the theme of these interviews, everybody has had a mentor. Do you feel like he's a mentor and he gives you extra guidance, or he gives you extra confidence?
Yeah, absolutely. He's been very, very helpful. Everyone in the local business fraternity speaks very highly of him. I recently came up with a scheme which incorporates a reward system for our clients, and local businesses provide discounts for our clients. So we've got about 30 different local businesses who all provide a discount to our clients. They get a VIP reward card, and we got a letter from the local MP saying, look, really happy with what you're doing, thanks for supporting local businesses, if I can ever help, let me know, kind of thing. And that wouldn't have happened without Lex's, I suppose, let me get on with it and do it.
Yeah.
It was a pipe dream, and again it came off, so I am lucky to have a good mentor in Lex, yeah, definitely.
I think mentors give you so many things. It's not just access, is it? It's that supportive pat on the back, because like you said, we have some ideas which are absolutely crazy out there, and they go, don't know if that'll work, but the ones that they think will, they give you 100% support and 100% commitment, and that gives you the confidence to be able to go, well, I know I'm younger, but they back me, and if a successful person like that backs me, then surely other people will as well. So what's the biggest challenge that you've faced, and how have you overcome that?
I suppose it's people's perception of a young surveyor. Sometimes I'll turn up on site at quite a dingy warehouse and say, Mister, where's your rent? And that kind of things can get a bit heated sometimes. And maybe if I was a bit older, they might take a not such a hard stance on it. But I suppose you just gotta be thick-skinned and just say, well, I'm just doing my job, and I wouldn't be here if you paid your rent. So I suppose the disadvantage is people's perception. Just because you're younger doesn't mean you're not as capable or not as helpful. And obviously experience can only come with time, and the knowledge as well is the other thing as well. I can only become more knowledgeable through time and doing my course, my extended course in my masters. So I see them, I suppose, as positives really, because it's things to overcome, which is a good challenge. Yeah.
It sounds like you've got a very good future ahead of you, and you've got a very supportive family and your boss. Do you think that having a family so supportive, I know that it's very similar when you say that you went down to the warehouse when you was younger. When I was 13, my dad dragged me out into the family business because I was tall, and I know that that's had a massive effect on my mindset, and I've been ridiculously hardworking because I see my dad doing that, and that's all I've ever known. Do you think that the way your family have been with you has helped your mindset getting into business and into property? Absolutely.
Anything I do, I'll always discuss with my dad. And again, he might say, that's stupid, what are you playing at, this is never going to work. But this scheme which I put together recently, I said, look, Dad, you go, because he's buying a couple on there, and I said, look, you go and do it. I said, you go and do that, and he said, well, what about you? And I said, look, I'm not in the position, it's just not going to happen. And we were able to make some things work, and without, I suppose, him saying that, it would have just been a deal that I put together. But now we'll be a director of the limited company, and we'll be managing the whole site, and it'll be obviously a nice little earner, I hope.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like he's had a big impact on you and your ability and confidence to
Definitely.
be able to go forward.
Yeah.
You know, my dad's very similar.
Yeah.
It's really strange that here actually talking to you. Very, very strange actually. But my dad's done the same, and it's made me feel like that I could do anything, and people will have to take me seriously. And if you don't, I don't mind. I'll just keep going and keep going and keep going.
Yeah.
And it sounds very similar.
Something that he's always said is be open-minded.
Yeah.
Because you can always listen to an idea, and if it's rubbish, then you can discard it.
Yeah.
But if you're not open-minded and you don't think about different routes and different options, then you may never do anything. So his advice is imperative into my success, I suppose.
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic. I could sit and talk to you all day, but do you have a top tip for anybody, a younger person wanting to get into the business, what you would recommend?
I would say don't be afraid to buy. Some people look at property and can see it's quite daunting, especially if they're not going to live in it. So I might say I've bought a warehouse, and someone will say, well, are you crazy? Why are you doing that? But don't be afraid to buy, but always buy what you know. Don't ever buy something that you're not comfortable with. And just try and know your market. As I spoke about, I've got 2 small starter units, and I kind of see the dynamic. Obviously, a lot of retailers are off the high street now. The internet's become much bigger, and I see the small starter unit distribution warehouse market going quite well for these internet firms. They come up and they let quite quickly, and you can just kind of hand them the keys and it's fully repair and insuring and happy days kind of thing. So that would be my advice, small starter units.
Yeah, I love the fact that you said there, know your market. It's very clear from sort of an early age for you that you knew the commercial market, having been in it, and now you've gone into commercial. I really like that because you know it, so you've stuck to what you know and you've leveraged your network and you've gone there. Just quickly on the sort of internet companies, and do you feel like because of your age and you understand the internet and the world around you, that's given you an advantage when talking to those companies?
I think so. One of my parents' units, the broadband speed is quite good in that area, and the distribution links are quite good as well to motorways, etc. So it's quite easy for me to say, are you an online retailer? Yes. Well, this is a good unit because you've got this, and this, which an older person may not know. So it's always useful.
Wi-Fi is like water these days, isn't it? We've got some student things, and it's like they'll ring you the second the Wi-Fi goes down, but the cooker could be broke for 3 weeks. And it's like it's crazy. And that's absolutely brilliant. So I'd like to thank Harvey for being part of the Young Entrepreneurs Week here at Property Tribes. Look out for the more videos for the rest of the week.